Everything is numb whenever I wake up every morning. Pins and needles in the palm of my hands. I got a story no one wants to hear. I am not sad, I'm just depressed. Matter of fact, I'm happier than ever been. I'm too ginormous. I'm smiling every day. You think I'm clowning, to be honest. I just don't know how to cry anymore. These agnostic thoughts make me wanna fly and just go and live my life with God. Oh my God, I just wanna die. I just wanna die. Winter colors clouding the conscious along with blackest nights. It's like a contest, which will kill me the fastest. Like I can get a ride to the afterlife if I think enough. You think I bluff, honestly, you right. I'm just too scared of heights. My spirit's broken and I'm still not breathing. And anxiety is still nightmarish. I wish that I could leave and forget about y'all. No offense, but I'm so scared I might go fully numb to the point. I am afraid of mics. Okay, we're recording. Do I look okay? What's up, everybody? It's your boy. Wait a minute. This video is probably already depressing enough, so much better. Okay. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Farooqi. It's your boy, Umar Farooq, and to be honest, I really didn't want to make this video, at least not yet. This is a very personal topic, and I didn't expect to get so personal very quickly. But the reason why I made the decision to go ahead and make this video was because this is very real to me in my life right now. There's no escaping it, and I just feel like, why not just talk about it? So as you've seen in the intro video and also in the title already, this is kind of gonna be me talking about, what it's like living with depression. Quick side note, if you're one of those people who don't really believe in mental health or depression, or one of those people who just go like, oh, just be happy, bro. Stop being sad. Happiness is a choice. I'm not really making this to educate people. Maybe in another video I'll do that. This one is more venting, talking about my day-to-day life, especially for those who might feel alone or might want to learn more of what it feels like to live with depression. And if that's who you are, you're in the right place, I guess. So I've been dealing with depression since when I was about 12 years old. Quick backstory, maybe like about 2 days before my 12th birthday, a very close friend of mine, very much like an older brother, had passed away in a car accident. And it was the first loss I've ever experienced in my life, and it really scarred me, We were very, very close. I've never really had... Oh, shit. Did I forget to wipe the lens? I think I forgot to wipe the lens. I'll be right back. All right, there we go. Cool. Sorry about that. That was like mid-story. So yeah, a really close friend of mine had passed away. And it was like the first loss. And it just kind of like, I guess was a trigger, or the first time I've ever spiraled down into some, deep moments of depression, suicidal ideation, and just really just set off like waves of extreme lows and not knowing what to do with myself, to be honest. And the crazy thing about it was that I didn't really know that I was depressed until like late high school. Looking back, I recognize that I've had it since middle school, since 7th grade, but I didn't really... What is this? But I didn't really realize it until high school. And that was a very empowering moment, because once I was able to identify and recognize what it really was, I made it my mission to figure out different ways to fight it off and make sure that it wasn't a strong hindrance in my life. For those of you who don't really know what depression may feel like, it's very, very difficult to describe. It's not, you don't have to be just sad. Depression doesn't mean that you're mopey all day, every day, and you're just sad about life and everything. You could be happy and be depressed. You could be having a great time with friends and be just rotting inside and not even know it. For me, depression has always been lethargy, both physically and emotionally. Just weight on both energies, and then if you believe in the spiritual, I would also apply it to the spiritual energy, where everything just goes at an all-time low. And yes, they can be triggered by some things, but sometimes it's just for no reason. It makes it it makes it very difficult to get up in the morning. It's almost like, what's the point? I'm just going to this job that I could really care less about. What's the point of continuing my education? The business school at Rutgers is just a scam anyways. I still feel pretty strongly about that, by the way. Nobody really cares about me anyways, or I'd probably be better off gone. It's this constant cycle of thinking that slowly drags you down lower and lower and lower until it starts convincing you that you should die, that you shouldn't be alive. I'm not smiling because it makes me happy. I'm smiling because it's something that I've dealt with my entire life, and I'm happy to say that I'm at a place where I don't, at least currently, allow myself to go that low anymore. But we'll get to all that. But for lack of a better way of describing it, that's what it feels like. It's as if somebody closest to you is dying every single day. I think Jordan Peterson said something along the lines of that. I can't remember exactly what. I don't agree with everything he says, by the way, but some things are super cool, super accurate. But yeah, it feels like somebody is dying every single day, somebody that you love, and it happens over and over and over and over again. And to the point you're just like, what the fuck? What's the point? So when I first became aware of it, I realized how it was coming into my life. I think that the first time I became aware, I realized that I was depressed for about 7 months. I was going through some tough times, relationship breakup, friend breakup, and I was just in an all-time low for about 5 to 7 months. This is high school, right? So there's drama and all that shit. And I didn't know at the time that I was depressed. Like, I was just overly low in my head. I'm just like, wow, I'm just going through some heartbreak. I'm just going through some drama. I'll get over it. I was able to eventually realize that I was depressed and I needed to make a change. And so I worked out a formula that worked specifically for me to make sure that I wasn't going to drop back down to that pit. So at the time, I came up with like, all right, I got to drink a gallon of water a day, which definitely helped. I have to work out, and I have to be creating music, to be specific. And yeah, like, I did those things and my depression just kind of like faded away. I never felt more alive, and I was happy, and I was probably the most positive person you could ever meet, which is actually cringy when I look back at it. But towards the end of high school, I quickly realized that that's not how it works. That's when I realized that I could feel like I conquered depression all I want, but if I'm someone who is struggling with clinical depression, this is something that's a part of me that I'm going to be dealing with probably for the rest of my life. That's when I realized that depression was going to always come in different forms and different waves and different levels of intensity. And that really bummed me out, because like I was over here like, damn, I conquered depression. I'm doing my thing. Let's go, man. And then right when I felt like the king of the world, the universe was like, nah, son. But the cool thing about dealing with the initial waves was being able to identify what might be causing it. Maybe it was a poor diet or poor sleeping schedule. That usually only happens to me when I'm already deep into depression. But there have been times when they were causes of many waves of depression. It was being able to figure out what was bothering me and putting all my energy into solving it that really drove me to keep living and just breathing. So the first time somebody passed away, and maybe like a couple waves later, a relationship issue, a couple waves later, another relationship issue. But there came a point where these waves started coming in for no reason at all. Everything was fine. I was eating right. I was taking care of my formula. I was working out, being creative, drinking lots of water, eating healthy. School was going great. I had a 4.0, but I still felt empty. I felt very upset. And that's when I realized that as you grow, your depression kind of grows with you, and your original formula isn't always going to work. You got to kind of adapt to depression like how depression adapts to you. Almost got to look at it as like a living being. It learns from you. It tries to study you and sees what can it plant in your head to bring you down lower and lower bit by bit until it can put you in a place where you're more susceptible to suicidal ideation. And the moment you start conquering it, it'll go away, it'll go back to the lab, and it'll figure out something else that might be bothering you. And it really sucks because as you get stronger, so does the depression. If you want to look at it that way, there is a more healthier way to look at it, but it's very easy to get stuck within the pit of it all and just like feel like shit about yourself. Like, wow, like I've done so much to prevent this. Why does this keep happening to me? Nobody cares about me. I'm all alone and I'm gonna kill myself. There was also a very another interesting, I think it was a TED talk. I'll try to put the link down below if I find it, but if I don't, I'm sorry. But there was a TED talk where somebody was talking about how depression is kind of like a nightclub, you know? It's like a bouncer at the nightclub. You know, it's like everybody is invited. It doesn't discriminate against anybody. But once you're all in it, it has like this really crazy illusion where it convinces you that you're the only one there. Everybody's in there, but you feel like you're alone. And that's what gets to you at the end of it all. You feeling like you're the only one going through it and that you're alone and that nobody understands, when in reality there's a bunch of people that love and care about you, whether you might be mindful of it or not. They're out there. So moving along, I had realized that depression was coming in waves and that it wasn't just a one-time thing when my friend passed away or when I had a really bad breakup. Then I learned that the same formula doesn't always work. I have to kind of step it up, just like how my depression was stepping it up. And I overall just started becoming more self-aware about my environment, what makes me happy. I was starting to get to know myself a lot more so that I may be able to filter out more of the stuff that I don't approve of and that negatively affects my soul, and filter in more of the positive stuff that I care about and I approve of. And then comes 2019. This is another one of those cases where the wave of depression hit me for no real reason. I don't know if I was still suffering from a previous heartbreak. I don't know if I was trying to be like somebody I'm not. But the point is, this wave of depression hit me, and it was probably the smartest wave yet. I didn't realize that I was depressed until maybe like 3 months in. So some more background information about me. I'm a pretty emotionally expressive dude. I was picked on my entire life growing up because everybody said, "Oh, you're so sensitive. Umar, you're so sensitive. Like, what?" You know, just like toxic shit. But I was just very in touch with my emotion. I'm assuming that one day I just had gotten tired of it and I was tired of feeling a lot of the pain. And my best theory is that I just didn't want to feel it anymore, and I somehow subconsciously programmed myself to suppress these emotions. So what had happened was, it's probably like February of 2019, and that's when I realized, like, damn, I haven't smiled or cried or laughed or been upset for about 3 months now, and I didn't know what to think of it. At first, actually, it felt pretty cool. I guess I was just so emotionally exhausted from being sad and overly happy all the time. It was cool to just not feel anything and to just work out, and it felt actually pretty great. And then another month goes by, and same thing, I'm working out, I'm chilling, basically. Another month goes by, and I start getting worried. I'm like, damn, I'm going out with my friends, and I can't even laugh with them. I'm faking the laugh. I'm smiling in front of them and I'm laughing here and there, but I just never felt so empty inside. And same thing with the negative stuff. When it came to feeling sad about something, I couldn't let myself feel for whatever reason. I would sit down, try to embrace my emotion, and nothing would come out. There were even times where I actually wanted to cry about things and I couldn't. It just wouldn't come out of my eyeballs. They wouldn't even get watery. And like I said, at first I kind of liked it. I'm like, wow, it feels pretty cool not to cry over everything. But eventually, like I said, my mind just felt like it was clogged up. And I had realized that I was going through another wave of depression. And this time there was more emphasis on my emotional health rather than my physical and my spiritual. It was affecting my physical and my spiritual health. But there was a cinder block on my ability to express emotions. So I had spoken with one of my deans at the university. Shout out to the HLLC, an amazing honors program that I was a part of, and they really cared about everybody who was part of the program, and the deans were all incredible. One of the deans, she's always kind of been there to talk about whatever I was going through, and I went to her about this. I was like, hey, listen, I can't feel anything anymore. I went into depth about what I was talking about, what I was feeling, and she was very open and gave me some amazing advice. And she basically gave me some cool thought exercises to allow my emotional threshold to open up. Is that the right terminology? Threshold? I don't know. I hope you guys know what I mean. But the problem with it was a very, 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 very slow process. I did notice improvement over the months to come, but I realized that anything that was negative that was happening in my life would set me back very, very far in terms of my progress. And, you know, my mind would just kind of want to revert back to feeling numb again. Eventually, I had run into a situation that I don't think I'm ready to talk about yet publicly, but I ran into a situation where I felt so I've never felt so cornered in my life. I've never felt so rejected, so lost, so alone, so crippled by anxiety in my life. I immediately had resorted back to suicidal thoughts, and I hadn't been suicidal since like right after high school. So it was probably about like 3 years that I felt somewhat healthy mentally. And then all of it just came crashing down. I really thought I was gonna die. And then that's when I had spoken to another dean, part of the same program. Bless all of them, super dope people. And he straight up told me, bro, like, there's nothing wrong with getting help. If I break an arm or if I'm feeling extremely ill, am I not gonna go to the hospital to take care of it? I mean, yeah, you could be one of those people, yo, I'm fine, bro. I'll be okay. I don't go to no hospital. Yeah, if you want to end up with an infection or not treat what might be killing you, sure, be that way. But the point is, why are we okay with getting things checked up when it comes to our physical health, but not our mental health? Why is there a stigma on that? And I had gotten so low that I had finally realized that, yeah, I think it's time. After about 8 years of dealing with depression, I had finally made the decision to get help and start therapy. Don't get me wrong, it was a bitch of a process in order to work things out with insurance and everything, but my wonderful, wonderful therapist was very patient with me and helped me work my situation out when it came to insurance and all that. And I was lucky enough to get that help that I really needed. And also, by the way, getting help wasn't the first step. The first step was admitting that I needed help. Oftentimes, I would dismiss my depression for the convenience of my family, of my friends, and it just came to a point where if I kept doing that, I was going to die. I was already rotting on the inside. So I had to be honest with my family, even though there is a strong stigma against mental health when it comes to Pakistani households, Middle Eastern households, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate no matter what background you're from. But, you know, it just came to a point like, if I want to get better, I have to take the step and be open about it. So yeah, I put myself first, my mental health first, and started getting help. And I can absolutely say it was the best decision I have ever made in my entire life. It was like talking to a professional friend, you know? And therapy, like, by the way, it's not like it's there to like solve all your problems and magically make them go away. No, it's a place where I felt like I was being guided back on the right track, along with tools I will need to take care. It wasn't as if somebody was brushing away my problems for me. I was being taught how to love myself again. By the way, that's another video for another day. How to love yourself again, or how to earn your self-love. Look forward to that one. I'm really excited for that one. But it really helped me learn to appreciate myself, my body, my soul, my spirit, and love myself again. Shout out my therapist. I don't know if he'd be comfortable with me dropping your name, so I'm not going to, but shout out my therapist. She's amazing. But yeah, ever since then, I've learned a lot about myself, even more than when I found out that I've had depression. I've learned much more about my emotional tendencies, my behavioral tendencies, and how I can use certain coping skills and coping techniques to push my way through certain situations. So this basically brings me back full circle. Why am I talking about this today? If therapy is so wonderful, and if I'm in such a better place, why am I talking about this today? It's because, like I said in the beginning, if you're somebody who experiences clinical depression, you realize that this is a part of your life. And I'm making this video right now because I find myself going through another wave, and I'm very tired. I'm very, very tired. I feel very burnt out. I don't feel very satisfied. I feel very unfulfilled. I haven't been in the mood to create content, and especially create music, which is crazy to me because music is everything I've known and loved. But the main takeaway is I am so very thankful and happy to say that I don't really see myself diving back down to suicidal ideation. And it's all thanks to therapy and being open about my mental health issues with my friends and family. I have created a healthy environment and atmosphere for myself. So when I feel myself dropping dropping lower and lower, I can immediately challenge myself, use different coping mechanisms to make sure that, yes, I'm allowed to feel a low. I'm allowed to let my emotions set in, because you definitely should. You shouldn't suppress your sadness. I get put into a place where I'm allowed to let myself feel, but I'm resourceful enough to either use my coping skills or get some help when I feel like I'm getting too low to the point where I don't want to be on this earth anymore. And thankfully, I haven't gotten that low since before therapy, to be honest. So yes, it's still a part of my life. For those of you who have it, I'm sure you guys can relate, but that doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. All it means that we just gotta try harder sometimes at taking care of ourselves. Is it annoying? Yeah, it sucks sometimes, but nothing is more empowering than learning more about yourself and finding out new ways to maximize what you're good at and what you feel, and set a routine that optimizes your strengths and your abilities overall. I feel like depression is a crucial part of my soul, of my spirituality. It helps ground me, and it really helps me appreciate the highs of life instead of dwelling on the lows and regretting and thinking about what could have been, blah, blah, blah. So listen, if you or a loved one is dealing with something like depression, I highly encourage you to look into it, be open about it, talk about it with somebody. If you don't have somebody to talk about it, there's so many different resources that you can contact to get some help. If you feel like you're dealing with some suicidal ideation or suicidal thoughts, I'm going to include some links down below that hopefully would be very helpful. I also want to take a second to say I really appreciate the direction that our generation is moving towards, prioritizing our mental health and realizing that we're not slaves to systematic oppression, capitalism, and all these old-fashioned societal structures that are very dismissive of our mental health and emotional health. If you can relate to anything I've spoken about in this video, or if you feel like you really resonate with what we've spoken about today, I would really love to ask for you guys to please spread awareness, talk about it, whether you need to talk to somebody or you know somebody you need to talk to. And I understand that this is a very cliche quote, but I absolutely believe in it, considering like the 50 different waves of depression I went through. Pause. I just realized that the audio cut off while I was recording. I promise it'll go back to normal very soon. Much love. All right. And I understand this might be a cliche quote, but it always gets better. You will get stronger. Take time to love yourself. Take time to get to know yourself. Take time to be open about the things that are on your mind. And there's nothing ever wrong with getting help. I really hope that this video has helped open up some dialogues that were non-existent in certain friend groups, households, whatever the case may be. And if you don't feel comfortable having a dialogue about this with the people that you're around, reach out to me directly. I include my Instagram and my Twitter in the outro, so just DM me, let me know, and we can always have a dialogue and talk about it. But yes, I really hope that this video has been resourceful or informative for those who might be wondering what depression feels like, or just relatable for those of you who might be dealing with things like depression and anxiety. I apologize that this video doesn't have the editing and the humor I usually incorporate in my videos. This is just something that's very serious and deep and just close to my heart, and I just wanted to get this off my chest and just talk about it. If there's anything specific in this video you guys want me to expand upon, let me know in the comments down below. If there's another topic you guys want me to go towards, let me know in the comments down below. And by the way, let me know what you guys think of this new setup. I'm finally using the new camera. I'm shooting in a very flat color profile, so I have to color grade a lot. Let me know if my colors just look stupid. Wow, I've really been shooting for 55 minutes. Thank you so much for the support that you all have been showing so far. I feel very excited to continue doing these videos and talk about what is ever in my mind or in my notepad. Thank you so much again for watching. If you made it all the way through, love you all, appreciate you all. Don't forget to wash your hands. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace. Wow, this video has literally gone on for an hour. How the fuck am I gonna cut this down?